Welcome to Spoonful of Om's Calm Class with me, Gina.
Hands come underneath the forehead as you sit toward your heels. Maybe your hips come all the way down. Maybe they're floating just a little bit above them. And then just notice the hip flexors. Notice the flexion or this bend in the knees. Notice the stretch, maybe the gentle or intense stretch in the tops of the ankles or the front of the ankle. And feel the softness and the release of the muscles of the back. Allowing the thighs to be under the torso to support it. Maybe the weight of the head on your stacked hands. Inhale as you come back to center, reach your arms forward, extended child's pose. And come up onto all fours. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are under the hips. And then on your inhale, press into the base of the index finger and thumb, and especially the index finger, and lift the palm of the hand just a little bit off the floor and lower down. And lift up, and lower, and lift, and lower, lift, and lower, and lift. And lower. And then turn the hands toward the long edges of your mat and start to move from side to side. And turning the fingertips to face toward your knees or toward the back corners of your mat if that feels okay. And pull the shoulders forward and back, creating more sensation of stretch and less as you move forward. And then turning your hands back toward the front, flip your right palm so it faces up toward you and the back of the hand is down to the floor. Spread the fingers nice and far apart to stretch through the hand. Engage the back of the hand as it presses down into the ground. And then change sides. Release the right palm down and flip your left palm up. Spread the fingers, press into the back of the hand, extend through the left arm as much as you can. And then flip the left palm, bring it back down. Walk your hands a little bit forward of the shoulders, tuck the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Moving the heels down toward the mat, feet are about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. Pressing the floor away with your hands. And then inhale as you shift forward, moving into plank. Draw the tailbone under you as you shift forward. Shoulders move over the creases of the wrists. And on your exhale, take your knees to the floor and lift all the way up onto your knees. Toes can stay tucked. Interlace the hands and turn the palms up toward the ceiling. Stretching out the sides of the body, allowing the shoulders to lift toward your ears. And on your exhale, twist to your right arm back, left arm forward. Maybe you tap your right hand down toward your right heel. Maybe it touches, maybe it hovers above. And then inhale, lift back up, interlace the hands. Opposite pinky finger to the outside, draw the palms up. And then exhale, release, left arm back, right arm forward. Maybe your left hand touches down toward your heel or reaches in that direction. And inhale to lift up, arms rise. And on your exhale, untuck the toes, sit yourself back toward your heels, bring the arms behind you, interlace the hands, draw the knuckles downward, and then roll the shoulders a little bit forward as you fold yourself down. Your arms can stay straight here so they begin to lift off your lower back. Maybe the knuckles rise upward toward the ceiling. And inhale as you release the interlace of the hands, lowering the arms. Send them forward in front and come up onto all fours, extending your right leg back and your left arm forward at the same time. Continue to keep the right leg back as the left arm reaches up for a twist. And then on your exhale, lower the left hand down and lower your right knee down. And on your inhale, reach the left arm forward and lift the arm up for a twist with the knee down. And lower the left hand down. And sit back into child's pose. And as you do, take your left arm out to the right side. Lower the side of the face to the floor as you pull the hips back just a little bit behind the knees. Your right hand can stay next to your face. Option to take your right arm up and move the right hand behind your left hip as you open the right shoulder. Allow it to lift upward toward the ceiling, rotating the chest and torso. And then inhale as you extend and reach the right arm up toward the ceiling and allow it to extend forward. Bend the elbow to bring the hand to the floor, pressing into your palm as you release the left hand down to meet the right. Exhale as you sit back, extended child's pose, hips toward the heels. Arms continue to reach toward the front of the mat. And inhale as you rise up, left leg comes back, right arm reaches forward. Reach the right arm up toward the ceiling as you open into a twist. And lower your right hand down, left knee comes down. Inhale, reach your right arm forward and up. And exhale, release your right arm down. As you start to move yourself back just a little bit, thread your right arm through to the left side, keeping your left hand to the floor, or reach your left arm behind the back, bend the elbow, rotating the arm within the socket, and letting the left shoulder rise up a little bit, turning the torso toward the left long edge of your mat. And then inhale as you release the left hand down to the floor, press into your palm, and bring your right hand down to meet the left. Extend your arms forward, coming into melting heart Anustasana, forehead, or chin can come down to your mat. Feeling the pull of the underneath of the arms downward, soften through the shoulders and the back, letting the shoulder blades rise up or elevate toward your ears. And then on your inhale, take your hands, keep the forehead to the floor, so you can take your hands next to your head and just next to the shoulders or just below them. Press into your palms and arch the back up toward the ceiling as you move into cat pose. And then feel the tailbone untuck as the belly drops down and the chest reaches forward for a cow. You can stay here, or you can wiggle the hips a little bit from side to side. Press down as you arch the back up toward the ceiling. Letting your head be heavy. And find a neutral spine, gazing down just above the fingertips. From here, walk your hands maybe hand width forward in front of the shoulders. And on your exhale, lower the forearms to the floor. Both at the same time or one at a time. Then press into your hands as you lift the elbows off the floor and arch the back. Press the floor away from you. Come into a neutral spine and lower the forearms down. And press into your hands as you lift the arms, arch the back up. And lower the forearms down. And press into your hands and arch the back up toward the ceiling for cat pose. And lower the forearms down and press down, arch your back up. Take your right knee forward toward your right wrist. Swing the right foot to the left side, so there should be a little bit of space between your right foot and your knee. Tuck your back toes and move the left hip back in space and the knee back. As you untuck the toes, moving into pigeon. Holding here, press into your hands. You can use blocks under them or press into the fingertips to find a little bit of a higher lift. Shoulders move back toward your hips. And then bring the palms down to the floor. Tuck your left toes. Move that left knee forward a little bit. Retuck the toes. And then step your right foot back as you come into downward facing dog. Inhale as you gaze forward. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand as the left knee comes to the floor. Move the right knee just a little bit out to the right side as you come onto the outer edge of your right foot. You can take your right hand to your knee as you turn to the right side. Sinking that left hip down toward the ground. And then coming back to center, let the right hand come down, stepping your right knee back. And moving into extended child's pose. Inhale, so you come up onto all fours, walking your hands a little forward of the shoulders. Left knee comes toward your left wrist. Left foot moves a little to the right side. Release the hips to the floor. Scoot the right knee back in space, untuck the toes. Press into your hands, fingertips as you lift, moving the shoulders over the hips or toward them. And then exhale, release the palms to the floor, tuck your right toes, shift your right knee forward, retuck the toes, press into your hands and step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Inhale as you gaze toward your hands, stepping your left foot to the outside of your left hand, bringing the right knee down to the floor, untuck the toes. Turn your left toes toward the front left corner. Knee moves in the same direction. Maybe you're coming toward the outer edge of your left foot as you sink your right hip toward the ground. And then place your left palm back to the floor. Shift your hips back and send your left knee and shin back, coming into extended child's pose. Inhale, so you come up onto all fours. Make a really big circle with your hips leaning to the left side, forward toward the front of the mat, to the right, and back into child's pose. And again, really big circle with the hips lifting to the left first, center to the right, and back. And on your next inhale, move to the right first. Shift the hips to the right side, center, left side, and back. And again, inhale to the right, center, left, and back. Then when you're ready to do so, you can extend your legs out long toward the front corners of your mat, preparing for our final resting pose of Shavasana. Letting your arms reach by your sides, palms can face up or the palms can face in toward the body with the pinky edge side of the hand to the ground. Tuck your chin just a little bit to feel the flat part of the back of the head release onto your mat. Relaxing through the shoulders, the torso, and the arms. Softening the body as you move into your Shavasana. If you need blankets, bolsters, pillows to help prop yourself up, you can grab those. And then once you find where you want to be, bringing your attention to your feet and your ankles. And begin to soften there, relaxing through the muscles as you move that sensation up the legs, into the lower back, softening the muscles that move along either side of the spine, within and around it. And soften through the upper back, the abdomen, the chest, into the shoulders. Soften down through the upper arms, the lower arms, into the fingertips. Relax and soften the muscles of the neck and throat, the muscles of the face, within the forehead, between the eyebrows, around the eyes. Soften and relaxing the muscles around the mouth, the lips, the jaw, and the tongue. And give yourself permission to move a little bit deeper into your Shavasana. And on your inhale, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotating your wrists and your ankles. And reaching your arms overhead into a full body stretch.
And exhale, pull the lower back down toward the ground, bring the knees in toward the chest and wrap your arms around the shins. Rolling onto either side, resting there a moment. And then using your top arm to press yourself up to sit, Sukhasana. Crossing the ankles or the shins and allowing your hands to rest on your knees or in your lap. And bowing your head to yourself, and take a moment here to thank yourself for coming onto your mat to practice. And we'll end with the sound of Om, taking a deep inhale. Om. Thank you so much for joining Calm Class.